morning, good afternoon, good evening. I've said on this platform that Zimbabwe is a failed state. And I said one of the reasons why we are a failed state is that we failed to hold free, fair, and credible elections. In 2023 elections, Zanu PF blatantly rigged those elections. SADC and the AU election observers condemned the election process as flawed and illegal. And I've often shown this from their report, quotation from their report, in which they clearly stated that the Zimbabwe elections failed to meet Zimbabwe's own constitutional and electoral laws, and failed to meet the SADC principles and guidelines governing elections. I have said that SADC did not go the extra mile and deny Zanu PF political legitimacy for two reasons. Number one, CCC, which was the main opposition party in those 2023 elections, participated in those elections, getting 44% of the nearly 5 million voters who turned up. Chamisa had managed to con his followers into believing that CCC was going to win big because he had plugged all the vote-rigging loopholes. It was a blatant lie. And the people, 2 million of them who voted for Chamisa, were foolish enough to believe the idiotic lie. And so the number one reason is 2 million Zimbabweans participated in the flawed elections, a number that voted for the opposition alone. And therefore, SADC could not ignore that. And the second reason was that the CCC leaders themselves participated in the process, conned their followers to do the same. And even after SADC and the AU election observers had condemned the process as flawed, they still went ahead and took up their seats. This came as no surprise. CCC leaders have always participated in these flawed elections, knowing fully well that the process is flawed, illegal, and that the logical step would have been to withdraw. But they've continued participating in these flawed elections out of greed. So those were the two reasons why SADC could not go the extra mile. But I think SADC would have gone the extra mile regardless if it was not for ANC ruling party in South Africa. ANC has supported Zanu PF regardless of the fact that the regime was rigging the elections. ANC was adamant that Zanu PF was the West was putting Zanu PF under pressure, or the sanctions that they had imposed were only purely for regime change, and completely discounted the very fact that Zanu PF was indeed rigging the elections. And in November 2022, that's a few months before Zimbabwe's 2023 elections, ANC had their own Congress in which the party came out very strongly in support of Zanu PF. It made it very clear that they would not accept regime change in Zimbabwe, supposedly under the pretext that it was the West who had imposed the sanctions for the purposes of regime change. What that statement did was give Zanu PF the confidence that the party could go ahead and rig the elections and ANC would turn a blind eye to that. And I believe that even when SADC election observers had confirmed that indeed Zimbabwe's elections were not free, fair, and credible, ANC had ignored that. Indeed, when the results came out, many of the SADC leaders did not attend Mnangagwa's inauguration. But President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa and his high-powered ANC delegation attended the inauguration, and thus endorsing the result. Here is a throwback of a video that was recorded during the ANC's 2022 Congress, in which the party's Secretary General is talking. My apologies.